You can begin your day driving over alligator-infested swamps in West Orange, Texas, and end up in the middle of the Chihuahuan Desert at Big Bend National Park, still in the Lone Star State. Your route will compose of 709 miles of driving in a span of 11 hours and 5 minutes. However, this isn't crossing the entire state. To reach the end of Texas at El Paso, you would have to drive an additional 325 miles for 5 hours and 7 minutes, totaling your 1,034-mile, 16-hour, and 12-minute road trip through Texas, passing 3 of the 25 largest cities in the U.S. Houston, San Antonio, and finally, El Paso. All three in entirely different geographical points. Texas is huge, composing of 11 different ecosystems through 2 time zones. Today, I will be discussing Texas's 5 main geographical regions: the Deep South, the Texas Triangle, the Rio Grande, the Desert, and finally, the Panhandle. We'll begin with the Deep South. Situated in Texas's far east, it is culturally and climate-wise similar to the rest of the U.S. South, with swamps, forests, and flatland with an abundance of rainfall. Its main ecosystem, called the Piney Woods and Green, has some of the densest forests in the U.S. With the Sabine River being its main source of water for the ecosystem, it hosts an abundance of animals such as alligators, bigger bats, and water moccasins. The cattle settled in this region when Texas was still a frontier. Today, Beaumont is the most prominent city in the region between the Gulf cities of Houston and New Orleans. If you head directly west, you'll find yourself in the Texas Triangle, situated in the more arid ecoregion called the Blackland Prairie. Most of the fastest growing cities lie in the Texas Triangle, thanks to the large cities of Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, which anchor the region. In fact, to give you a sense of size of these cities, check out Dallas's and Houston's metro from a 3D angle, where the downtown is about the size of the word itself. The sprawl is immense. The relatively flat and mild land of the Blackland Prairie has not only helped cities, but the settlement of Tocowawa native to the region. Animals in this region include jackrabbits, prairie dogs, and coyotes. South of the Texas Triangle, and you'll end up in Texas's southernmost region, the Rio Grande. This region is one of the most unique places in the U.S. Its weight and latitudes align with Florida, and at parts even hosts a tropical dry climate. In fact, the region's southernmost city, Brownsville, is only 175 miles north of the Tropic of Cancer. Brush country and coastal sand plains make up most of the region. However, the ecosystem revolves around the Rio Grande watershed, which straddles the U.S.-Mexico border. The Rio Grande also brings species found nowhere else in the U.S., such as ocelots and jaguars, can be found just in this one region. The Chihuahuan tribe were the original settlers, which even had contact with the Aztecs. Corpus Christi is the most populous city in the region, but also a collection of cities along the Rio Grande have a larger metropolitan area. Head up the Rio Grande and you'll find yourself in Texas's Chihuahuan Desert, on the opposite end of the spectrum from the Deep South. The Chihuahuan Desert is Texas's largest and driest region, consisting of the Trans-Pecos ecoregion. Here you'll find canyons and mountains such as Big Bend and Guadalupe. Shrubs and cactus dot the landscape, with animals like roadrunners, peccaries, and yes, even mountain lions. A famous Apache tribe were the primary settlers. Today, El Paso, at Texas's westernmost point, is the region's primary city and, along with Lubbock, has completely different geography than the rest of Texas. Finally, we have reached Texas's last and most isolated, the Panhandle. Lying in the southern Great Plains, it hosts regions 9 and 10. The Panhandle has a more arid and cooler climate. Large farms and ranches cover the region, with only one major city, Amarillo, in the middle of the region. The Comanche and Kiowa call this region home, along with other Plains Native Americans. Prairie wildlife include bison, pronghorn, and the armadillo. Texas is one of the most diverse states in the U.S. and offers so many ecosystems that even countries don't have. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this informational video. This has been Mapix.